Hello everyone! It's been a little while since our last video, but it's time to get back to the modern classroom way of doing things. Today we're going to talk about noteworthy information. You've found a few sources, you've skimmed them, maybe you've read some of them. How do you make sure you're getting the most out of those sources and finding the information that's going to be most useful for your research? Before we get into noteworthy information, I want to just do a reminder of how the notes document is organized. At the beginning, you copied down your topic and your 3 guiding questions that you came up with. In the document, there's a spot for notes for each question. So if you find a source that's really good for question 1 and question 3, copy it into one of the boxes for question 1 and find the information that's relevant to that question, and copy it into the box for question 3 farther down in the document so that you can keep your notes organized. This is going to save you a lot of time later. But what are we even copying in? Noteworthy evidence gives you a better understanding of your topic and makes you more comfortable presenting the topic. Without evidence, you can't support your argument. It sounds like you're just making things up, and people may or may not believe you. The more evidence you have, the more persuasive the argument. It's easy to say, I believe this. But why should they believe you? If you've got evidence that proves what you're talking about, that's a lot harder to argue against. Noteworthy evidence does multiple things. It supports the point you're trying to make, and that doesn't mean you're only finding information that supports what you already believe. You're finding information and making your point based on that. It elaborates on what you've already been saying to provide details. It explains what you're talking about so the listener can clearly understand, and it proves something to us. So let's look at some examples. Noteworthy evidence is not common knowledge. It's not going to be knowledge that's already generally known and accepted or easily found everywhere. That's not noteworthy. Why waste time on it? Some examples. There's a lot of police violence in this country. Unfortunately, pretty much everyone knows that. It's not noteworthy, although it is worth talking about, but we need specific noteworthy evidence to elaborate on that. Nuclear waste creates health risks? Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be disagreeing on that. Again, it's not telling us anything we don't already know. So what would it look like if we had real noteworthy information? Jordans are expensive. Pretty common knowledge. Not everyone is going to know what Jordans are, but this isn't really telling us anything new. In order to make this noteworthy information, we need to add details, evidence, and proof. So here's an example of noteworthy information. Nike men's leather Air Jordan 12 retro black, white, and metallic gold sell for $384 to $685 on Amazon.com. That's a lot better. It's still talking about the same idea. Jordans are expensive. But now it's got details that the average person on the street definitely wouldn't know off the top of their head. And those details help prove it. Because what does expensive really mean? Well, according to this quote, it means at least $384. Let's look at another example. If I said the Utah Jazz is the best team in the NBA, well, firstly, that's opinion, not fact. Don't at me. But it also isn't really noteworthy. Instead, I want those details. I want that proof. So I could say, the Utah Jazz has the highest team ranking in the NBA according to NBC Sports, with 38 wins and 11 losses in the 2021 season. That's so much better. Not only is it no longer opinion, it's facts now. It has details to justify why this team's worth talking about and what we want to say about them. So you're going to practice finding noteworthy evidence on your topic. You've already found several sources and you'll continue finding more. Now's the time to go through, read those sources, and as you're reading, highlight the parts that support, elaborate, explain, and prove your point. For this step, you can literally just copy and paste the information right from that article into the noteworthy evidence box in your notes document. Don't worry about copying. We will come back and put it in your own words in the next step. So to review what your notes should look like, in our very left box, which you started filling in last time in 5.2, you're just copying the links. Make sure to do this so that you can always get back to your sources. And in the second box, we are adding the noteworthy information. You can copy and paste directly from the source. Each piece of noteworthy information should be in one row. So if you find a source that gives you 3 different pieces of information that aren't directly one after another, put them in 3 rows. It's fine to use the same source multiple times. That's going to help you stay organized. Next time, we will talk about how to paraphrase next. Once you've gone through your notes and added noteworthy information into your document, pull up the 5.3 Step 3 video, and we'll carry on with paraphrasing. Happy researching!